It was my first official case. The story goes that a local robber had broken into a house, but when the victim went to investigate, he was stabbed to death. Some things just didn't add up though. Like this knife. It didn't match the size of the stab wound. And there was only one witness, the victim's niece.
I've already spoken to the police. Do I need to talk to you as well? I've given all the information I can.
I'm not the police. I'm Red Tellman, private investigator. I was hired to get justice for your uncle. Why don't you tell me what happened?
I got out of bed fairly early that morning. It must have been 1 or 2 a.m. I was thirsty, so I went downstairs to the kitchen. It was dark, but I heard a bunch of noise in there, so I peered in through the door. There were these two figures, Uncle Andrew and, I guess, the murderer. I couldn't tell exactly what was happening, but I figured it was none of my business and I wasn't even thirsty anymore, so I went back to bed. Well, that and the figure that was stood up had these big glowing eyes. Kind of creeped me out, so I just left.
Your uncle was still conscious when you last saw him, and he didn't fight back.
I guess he had his back to the murderer. Like I said, it was dark in there, so I didn't see much, but I definitely saw the knife being picked up, and he didn't react at all. There was a bit of light coming in through the window, so it kind of reflected off the surface, you know?
And he didn't call the police?
Like I said, none of my business.
So it was too dark to identify the murder?
Yeah, they were wearing all black and they had that weird mask on. Listen, this all seems a little bit pointless. The police already said the creepy robber was the murderer, right? And they found the murder weapon already in the sink, right? It's weird because I thought the knife would be a little bit cleaner.
I'm sorry, in the sink?
Yeah, I definitely heard the splash of water as they dropped it in the sink.
The knife was found on the table. The official report doesn't state that the knife was found anywhere near the sink.
Maybe the murderer washed it and took it then. I don't know, I didn't exactly stick around. But I definitely heard the splash.
Thank you, Miss Lowe. You've been a great help.
Talking to the witness just made this entire mystery stranger and stranger, and piecing together the clues seemed almost impossible. Until... I had an idea, an inkling of what had occurred that day of the murder, but not enough evidence. I needed to speak to the murderer myself and gather the confession I needed to present my case.
It's open.
Miss D. Killer? I'm here to ask you a few questions about the murder of your boyfriend, Andrew Lowe.
I've been expecting you, Detective Tellman. I've heard all about you running around investigating this case against her, which is surprising considering it's already been resolved, but do come in.
Well, the client have requested a few unsolved questions are cleared up. I hope you understand.
Of course, but it really is cruel of you to bring up this grief all over again.
Nice place you have here, Miss Killer. You moved out rather quickly after he died, didn't you?
But of course, I simply couldn't stand to be in that place after he died, and since he left me such a large sum of money, he wanted me to be provided for, see? It seems to me that you're insinuating that I killed my dear Andy for the life insurance payout. I can assure you, Detective, that I was asleep throughout the entire thing, and there's simply no evidence to implicate me in the crime. And I loved him terribly. I could never do such a thing.
You're right. There isn't any evidence suggesting you did it, because you went to great lengths to erase any.
You must be mistaken, Detective. It was a burglar. Didn't little Annie see a man in black with a mask?
Anyone can dress up in black and wear a ridiculously distracting mask, including you, which is exactly what you did to hide your identity from Annie, in case he accidentally witnessed the murder. Plus, when you left the bed that you so shared with Andy, he would have noticed your absence, come down looking for you, right in the kitchen.
Suppose I did kill him, Detective. Where's the murder weapon? Surely it would have had my fingerprints all over it.
This is my favourite part. You've been planning this for weeks now, haven't you? The weapon in question melted.
What?
There's a discarded mould next to the bin, which you filled with water and froze. If I were to piece it back together, it would make a pretty distinctive dagger shape. And it also helpfully gave me a vital piece of information. She thought you placed the murder weapon in the sink because she heard a splash. But really, you placed it in the giant pasta pot, didn't you? If Andy was really making pasta that night, then where was his cutlery? Where was his bowl? And where was the pasta sauce?
This is all circumstantial. What about the knife they found on the scene?
Completely irrelevant to this case. I'm thinking Andrew cut himself early that morning, didn't bother washing it. Besides, forensics will find blood in that pasta pot. It seems then, Miss D. Killer, you are the killer. That'll be all, man.
Miss D. Killer handed herself over to the police just as I submitted my report. I began to receive more and more cases after that, which gave me all I needed to kick my career off the ground. However, to this day, I still think of Miss Killer, the ice dagger, and the excellent story she waved for the police that I happened to unravel.